Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
I thought he got debriefed or something. I remembered the ending wrong.
They didn't get a copyright till 2000 for this movie?
Probably renewed it.
Okay. I don't know.
Or laws changed or something to where
Something like that.
things happen.
This was a very strange movie. Nothing what I expected. Actually.
Yeah.
I expected a straight up war movie. It's not that. It is not a war movie. It is, but it isn't. At the same time. There's definitely commentary on the war, but there's some other shit, man. There's some weird... Someone took an acid trip shit. Like the characters in the fucking movie.
Well, I mean, there's tons of war aspects to it. Like,
Sure.
the reason it highlighted, like, part of the reason we lost the war was there was no actual fucking end. There was no goal. It was just
True.
fucking kill people. And then Brando's character is like, what are we fucking doing?
Oh,
In a sense.
He's
And
the
then
fucking
it's like,
Messiah in the manger or some shit like that, bro. The way they just did
what
I just saw.
you heard the inoculate story, right?
Yes. I think.
So, like, we were sent in to inoculate these people for polio, and they didn't trust them.
Yeah.
So they chopped their arms off where they got the shot for inoculation. And he's just like, to me, the idea was like, I'm just a killer that was released out here. And after I saw that shit, it's like, what am I fucking doing? Why not just, like, what are the rules for it?
Yeah.
I can just I can do whatever the hell I want.
Let become their god or some shit. That's what it looked like.
Well,
I did not expect any of that shit. I just saw.
He's torn too. Marlon Brando's character is like, he still like wants to be, at the end of the day, someone in charge. But at the same time, he's like, what am I doing in this war?
He's the fucking king beyond the wall in Game of Thrones, man. He's that guy. Basically.
That as well. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, he still wants to be in charge, but he's like, these orders are stupid.
But all right, what happens with Martin Sheen's character there, where he kills Marlon Brando, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like worshipped afterwards. like they create space for him to walk through, type of thing.
Right. If it seems like he could have been the new leader, right? If he stayed.
Yeah. Yes. That's what it looked like.
Like, so it's like, are these people just subservient naturally and they need a leader? Or is it just fucking like the king of the hill is the king of the hill?
Or some sort of subversive narrative that's attached to the Vietnam War in this time period, which is, what is this, 76 or something? 70,
Right.
70 something. Man, that whole end thing is like so fucking trippy.
Right.
But it doesn't. I want the grounded fucking thing attached to it, and I'm not getting that. For me personally, I think I was.
And that's why it's one of the best, considered one of the best war movies, because it's endless thoughts and it leaves you just questioning everything.
For me, that's not good enough. My grade is not going to be as good as people might think. I don't think this movie's that good. My opinion. I get it. I partially get it with the subversiveness, and I don't mean like subverting our expectations, but I mean like subverting it's so
It leaves you
abstract.
it leaves you not understanding what you saw, to where you're like,
Yeah, kind
what
of.
is this really about? To where you're thinking about it for, oh, you're really thinking about it.
Sure, but not the good kind. Not the good kind for me. The good kind for me is like Black Swan or The Dark Knight, where I'm like, man, what do you mean by that? And then you get to rewatch it, and you're like, okay, I'm picking up things as I'm watching it. I thought that was interesting. This movie is just straight up like, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean, man? And I'm like, okay, like that's what I'm getting from this movie. I don't think it's that good. I think it's all right. It's not bad, but I think it's I don't know, hokily fucking psychedelic, like a hokey way of psychedelic filmmaking. And for me, that's just it's whatever. For me, it's there's no groundedness to it to me. Like I get it, you're against the war. That's understood.
And think about, like, the war didn't end until 76 officially. It really ended in 73, but we still ditched it for another 3 years.
Sure.
And if 76 is when they made it, think about that.
Okay, that's a cool political statement, but is that the big dick of filmmaking? No, it's not. Not for me. Because people can like I think great filmmakers can cover anti-war messaging or the idea of war itself or the cost of war. I think people can cover that in like 10 minutes, man. It's that simple to me. So I'm like to make the whole movie about that is not enough for me. Me personally. That's just my feelings about that shit. And I'm like as I was watching this movie, I'm like, because I hear this movie being mentioned as amongst the greatest films of all time. Apocalypse Now, 100% been mentioned amongst the great films of all time. For me personally, I'm just like, well, where is it? Where's that greatness at?
Well,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Forget
to
it.
the protesters of war, there's like things that aren't straight up said, but like the fact that the cavalry took the boat in, I'll just tell you, this is one of the things, like, the protesters of war are really about with this movie is when the cavalry, the helicopters, took that boat in and they skipped that piece of land. They destroyed that shit that was in the way, but
Okay.
somehow where they took them was drop them in some water in a river that was going up to, and then you get to the USO. So
Okay.
they already conquered land basically in a different location that was further up the water than the place that they had to destroy to get to. So it's telling how, like, there's no organization to this war. The protests of the war was like, even if you're gonna do war, you're being stupid, US government, in the sense that we know that you're intentionally, like, not trying to be successful with this war.
Okay.
It's a 10-year war. You're only thing that's happening is killing our Americans. You're not organized. You're not doing anything right. And this movie like highlighted those kind of things.
Okay.
Like you lack a mission. You lack a what does it mean to win?
Well, I understand that, which is definitely a Vietnam message, if anything,
Right.
as far as wars that aren't quote unquote won, and it's like, why are we here type shit. I get that, but what are you saying? What's the bigger message? Because anyone can have commentary about Vietnam War in 1970, whatever the fuck, man. Like anyone can have commentary about that, or the Iraq War and the second Iraq War in 2005. Like, wow, should I give all the praise to Adam McKay because he can commentate on it? It's like, no, not for me. I understand why the topic is important, 100%. But to say something beyond it is next level.
The praise is also associated with when this movie was released.
Sure.
That's a big part of why this movie is so high up there and
yeah, but I expect to see like modern
on the rankings.
Okay, but I expect to see like modern time dick riders saying this is the best thing ever, best movie ever. I expect to see that shit. To me, it's not.
It's considered one of the best
considered. Sure.
War movies out there, and I appreciate it significantly. I don't think it's all that deep. It tries to be deep. No, I'd say it is deep.
It has layers to it, but it's not that deep of a layers to me. But it has layers to it for sure. I'm not going to deny that.
And it left you with no answers in the sense of, like you ask for answers in life, and you're not gonna always have them.
Sure.
That's the kind of deepness I mean.
Sure. Well,
they did that at the end. Like, why are we here with the Marlon Brando thing?
Well, I expected something more traditional. In my, not that I take points because of, my expectations. I'm just saying, like, I did expect something a lot more traditional, as far as like a war movie. Like, I expected like a better Saving Private Ryan type of shit, like a better version of that. I expected that in this movie. I expected war scenes but much more of a strong anti-war message. At least in context to Vietnam. So, but
well, and then showing all the death, that was real anti-war too.
Yeah,
the way they showed it for this movie.
Yeah, when Lawrence Fishburne died, like it's clearly there's clearly an anti that war at the very least message,
and showing how showing how desperate the Viet Cong were to where they would shoot homemade fucking like Roman candle weapons.
Yeah, well, I thought there was. I still think
there was bullets and there was bullets.
I don't know.
Those were bullets with it as well, but what you were seeing that looked like flares was they're like homemade missile things.
Okay, fair enough. Fuck, man. I was hoping for more, and they actually went to like a weird place there, which I usually appreciate. The whole Marlon Brando thing. Let's be honest about this. That whole last section of the movie is like completely different from the beginning of the rest of it, right? You do agree about that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That
In fact, I
shit was
think
trippy.
I think the problem was Marlon Brando got some say, and he was
Was
like,
it
"I
him on
need to be
acid
me.
or?
I need to be me. I need to be Marlon Brando." But I forgot to finish the point.
It was very weird and subversive and psychedelic, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know any more adjectives to describe it as, but it was definitely weird. It's definitely different. Uh,
But it could have been
did it
like,
add to it so much? I don't know, because that wasn't like a running theme throughout the entire movie. Like it didn't seem like that was a theme in the movie itself, to where like this would
well,
make
part
sense
of it.
with General. What was his name? Kurtz, or something like that. Kurtz.
Kurtz, Colonel Hertz.
Colonel Hertz or Kurtz. I think it was Kurtz actually, with a K.
Kurtz.
Yes, yes, Colonel Kurtz. To where like this mystery man who that Martin Sheen's supposed to like find and assassinate because he's such a big fucking a rogue threat or whatever. They didn't build that up. They didn't make that seem so considering what the character ended up becoming, like what he was when we saw Marlon Brando. It's like they didn't build that up to where it's like we can see the theme of where you're going earlier in the movie. There's like a disconnect to me.
He's just out there and he's still got his men with him. You saw there was like 8 Americans with him.
Yes, but he's like he's different. He's not.
But he's a colonel. That means he has like a couple thousand people under him.
Yeah, but he's not a colonel. He's something different. He's a weirdo. He's weird about it.
No. What that meant was he lost almost all his men.
Yes,
but he still had like 8 guys, and they conquered this tribe, and this tribe was cool with it.
Yeah, but they're like in the beginning of the movie, right? It's like, yo, we need you to like kill this guy. But there's no themes here to where it's like you're building and building and building to this guy. Like the guy we ended up seeing, Marlon Brando. It's like, where are the themes that like build up to that guy? Where is that at?
That was in the readings of Martin Sheen.
Oh, come on.
That's what he was reading.
Oh,
he was
come on.
reading about him.
No.
Were you not paying attention to that?
No, come on.
Were
what
you
we
not
just
paying attention to that?
Dude, what you saw when the Doors music started playing, This Is the End, right? When that song starts playing and the little boom, boom, the fucking bass starts hitting and shit like that. What in the movie built us up for that thing? Where? For that character,
What?
that tone, that character, that tone, I don't
know what you're
that
talking
style of
about.
dialogue, dude. When Marlon Brando's like talking to him when he's like captured, right? And his face is like kind of moving in and out of the shadows. Where's the tone setter for that thing? Where's that at? In the entire movie before that. It's not there.
Oh no.
It's not there. I'm telling you right now, it's not there.
No.
But go ahead.
No one in the movie described that he became a tribal leader until they got there.
Yeah, but he's
That was totally not part of it.
The character's tone setting, right? He's setting a tone for his atmosphere, right? Where is that tone setting anywhere else in the fucking movie other than when we get there?
What Martin Sheen was reading. It was clear.
On.
Dude, were you not paying it? What was
Martin Sheen reading? Martin Sheen's reading like military reports and shit like that. Are you talking about the mail sent to him?
What were the reports? Do you remember? Can you describe that?
Okay, you're talking about the mails that he received or got access to when hold on.
When they sat down.
Dubster. Remember when you asked how are they getting mail out here? Remember that? God.
They got the mail.
Yes.
So he was constantly reading through who Kurtz is and what Kurtz, why they wanted to get rid of Kurtz.
But that shit was different, man. It's a different tone setter compared to like maybe it's a surprise, I guess, to the audience what they were
Right.
going for. Maybe
Well, it was completely thrown off. Or what you're expecting, kind of, is him to just be in some like fortified camp with his guys, and he has to sneak
with his
in
goons like protecting. Yeah,
with his American GIs, like a base
or
camp
foreign
or
goons,
something.
or foreign goons. Like
No,
just
You're not
goons, just
expecting
goons,
that at the beginning.
kind of like goons guarding him a little bit, right?
You're not expecting
A little
any
bit.
foreigners with him. You're not expecting any
No,
foreigners with him.
it's have nothing to do with foreign or domestic. It's about just goons kind of guarding. Like this guy, like he subverted the fucking U.S. military. He went on his own, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has his own fucking by whatever means he used to get his way, as far as like people guarding him, to manipulate them, to work with him. It worked, and he has fucking goons, regardless of Vietnamese or American or whatever the fuck, right?
No.
Yes.
So South Vietnamese would be with him. That would still be considered part of the forces. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you wouldn't expect the Cambodian tribe to be with him at all. You would expect it to be set up like a base, and he's the centerpiece of it. And he's got like 500 men under him or something like that. And you would have to sneak in and assassinate him. Or somehow get into a position to assassinate him. Sure.
But what you're talking about is like when you said Cambodian, right? These are like he became a quote unquote religious like leader, right?
Right.
In the
And
movie.
that's not even a fucking thing in Cambodia. That's the thing.
I'm just saying.
It's not really even a fucking thing for Cambodia.
But that's the character that we walked into at the very end of the movie.
Right.
That's why
But
it's so fucking trippy.
No
like,
one
that
was
fit the rest of the movie.
No one was expecting that. No one was expecting that.
Okay. You mean the audience, right?
Right.
No one.
Right.
Okay. Because I didn't expect that personally.
It didn't fit.
Okay. Let me give a personal. Do you have a grade for this for yourself? I have one for
8.5.
8.5. Okay. Fair enough. Do you have words
Because
behind that?
it's kind of like the Eyes Wide Shut shit.
It kind of is, but kind of isn't at the same time.
Because it leaves you hanging is why it's such a good movie to me. Makes you design your own thinking to it.
Okay. That I think that's kind of fair. I disagreed with my grade and all of it. Well, if I bring up Eyes Wide Shut, I think the theme that's in the beginning of the movie is the thing that's a thread throughout the entire movie. That's what I feel about Eyes Wide Shut.
And I don't exactly mean Eyes Wide Shut, but that's a similar type of movie that's like that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, when I say subversive, like Eyes Wide Shut is subversive. This movie's subversive. I don't mean something like negative, like they're whatever, subverting our expectations, all that bullshit, right? I don't mean that. I just mean it's just like it's so mind bendy to where you don't know what's going to happen, type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put them in the same category, in regards to that. But as far as quality goes, sorry, no. This movie for me is not there. And this might be controversial. I'm going to say I think it's a 7.5, 7.6. It's average or a little bit above average.
Let me ask you this.
It's not greatness to me. Sorry.
What if I ask you this? If you look at a what do you call it? A man of his times kind of movie.
So if I made this movie in 2023, 2024, is that what you're
About
asking?
a current no. I mean, like, if you were alive and when this movie was made, and you were, I don't know, just becoming an adult, or maybe you were
Well, you're basically asking.
25, 30 years old during the time.
You're basically asking if I made this movie in 2003, 4, 5-ish, Iraq War shit, like basically like our era. Right?
Okay.
You're basically asking that.
Yeah. What would you think about it then?
It'd be the
Like,
same
relevant to
Be the same.
your awareness.
Yeah, it'd be the same for me.
Hmm.
It would be like
Okay.
what movie do I pick out, like, for me personally, that's in the top, 8.0 or above type movies that are where it's like era based.
Oh, I'm not.
None
I'm
of
not
them.
trying to like. I'm not trying to like get you to raise your score. I'm saying
No, I'm
if-
saying that like as a response to what you're saying. I'm saying that as a response. Like, what movie where I would rate it like 8 or above because of the era it came out in. Like, that doesn't happen for me. That's what I'm saying.
but I'm not trying to get you to raise your score out. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the of its times kind of thing versus overall just quality of it,
Yeah.
would you look at it differently? Not to where
And
it's
that's
different
what I'm
score.
saying. That's what I'm saying as a counter. Because, all right, V for Vendetta, right, is very particular politically, very particular, to where it like fits a certain era of politics that happen in Europe and in America, in the Western world.
In the future,
No, it's the movie came out in 2005 or 6 or something like that.
about the future.
No, it's about our era, man. Straight up.
V for Vendetta is like
It's
the
about
idea of 1984,
N-
a futuristic dystopia.
No, it's about our era, man. Watch the movie again. The topics they're talking about are strictly like straight up our era, man. Even even the Chancellor in that movie looks like fucking George Bush, man. He looks like George Bush. Like, come on.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
That dude does not look anything like George Bush.
Okay, whatever. It looks like our era of, right, and you have Occupy Wall Street. That looks it's our era, man. It is.
It looks like Equilibrium.
It looks like our era, man. It does.
It looks like Equilibrium.
It looks like our era, in my opinion. Sorry.
Maybe the buildings and the clothes, but I'm talking about the dystopian aspect.
Well, the point is to relate to the era it's talking about type shit. There's a portion of that in there, but the story still fits for any fucking era. As far as the idea of freedom and the aspects of like self-freedom and existentialism and all that shit. That's all in that movie. It is not locked down to an era. So when you say like this movie, Apocalypse Now, like, oh well, imagine if it was like this type of era to where like something you're more familiar with.
It's specifically about a specific era. That's why I said if you were alive during that age, you wanted to make it so it's another war that you lived in. I'm saying if you experienced that actual war and you were a guy that was in Vietnam War, or you were someone that was Muhammad Ali went to jail, so if you were a protester of the war, or you were a 16-year-old about to go into the war, how would you look at it? And all those kind of things. That specific war.
I'm saying that grade wouldn't change. Because
I'm not talking about your
like
grade.
that.
I'm talking about the way you look at it.
It wouldn't change because the core lessons of the thing. That's why I brought up V for Vendetta, man. That's why I brought that up. because my score, my sorry, my bad, not my score, but my view of it would not change.
What you said, V from Vendetta, is a timeless movie. This is a time specific movie.
It seems like that way. Other than like there are certain elements in this movie that are not
Timeless.
time sensitive. They are
Okay.
they're trying to say something like bigger about something. I think that's the case in this movie, 100%.
I agree with you.
I think
I
so in this
agree with
movie.
you.
I think so. But at the same time, like the overall, the big picture of the movie, it's the encompassing message of the movie itself is not that, in my opinion. Although I think that's part of the movie. Does that make sense at all?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying about this movie. But that's why I'm not grading it as high, because there are movies that are like, yo, this applies to any type of sense of, fucking with your freedom type of thing. Like a Viva Vendetta or a Matrix or whatever you want to name.
Well, see, I'll tell you this. Part of the reason this movie's up there for so many people, and for me too, is because, like, our parents pass things down to us from their experiences from these things.
Sure.
And it's just like, it's just chaos. And what was this movie about? An insane fucking colonel that needed to be stopped. But you know how we stopped him? We fucking went insane to fucking killed so many people for no goddamn reason.
That'd be for me, I'd be like, yo, I applaud that. But for me personally, what I think people think when they watch something like Apocalypse Now is a fucking trendy thing, and that bothers me. I think for a lot of people, it's a trendy thing, to where it's, oh my god, this movie came out in 1970. Like they feel good about something that's vintage or something like that, or they give it an extra applause to something that's vintage. And I'm like, dude, you don't need to fucking do that. Like, whatever you think is good, you think is good. Like that's good enough for me. This movie seems like something where people's like, oh my god, do you see the scene where Marlon Brando and the fucking jungle music started fucking playing, and then the doors popped in? It's like, oh my god, like it's like a trendy thing instead of like a real thing to me. That's what I'm feeling right now after watching this movie. And I was gun ho ready. I was ready to be like, yo, this shit is the shit. I was ready for that, but I didn't get that personally. Forgive me. I have different tastes. I am who I am. I didn't get that shit from here.
I got you. I understand that. And I put politics and war movies higher on my list anyway.
Yeah, but there's well, me and you are going to argue to the end of fucking time, because that's your personality and that's my personality. We're going to argue till the end of time. But no, I understand that. I understand.
Oh, next week we should watch American Sniper.
Oh my, no.
Don't worry, I give that a fucking 5.
We're all right. No, let me say this seriously, because I do notice that you have an eye for film. You do. I definitely believe that. We have different eyes for film, but you do have an eye for it. And
there's different points to it for us.
Well, we're gonna be punching each other till the end. It's gonna be celebrity death punch till the end of time with me and you. It is what it is. But for me, that's appreciated. That's worth the art. Like, I don't want to hear bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear fucking bullshit garbage in front of me. I want to hear someone's real opinion about this or that. So that is 100% appreciated. And
and Anthony can't stay awake to the end of a fucking movie to fucking judge it.
Anthony has a real opinion. Jesse has a real opinion. Anthony has a real opinion. There's real opinions out here. It's just, oh man, I think there's too many. When it comes to a genre that I love so much, like film, I think there's too many bullshit fucking artists, and they're gonna overwhelm all of us. They're gonna take us all over if we're not gonna have a fucking word at the end of the day, man. That's
And I
just throwing
kinda-
that out there.
And I kind of knew you wouldn't like this to my kind of level. And that's why I kept saying, this is one of the greatest movies.
I thought it was gonna be a traditional like war movie. I don't know. That was my thinking, but it is what it is.
Because I knew you'd be fucked up by the ending a bit. Like, what?
Okay. Let me say this because you're more familiar with the film than I am, and you gave it would you give it 8.6 or something like that? 8.5, 8.6?
8.5.
8.5.
8.5.
8.5, and obviously you recommend. I give it a 7.5, 7.6, but I also probably equally recommend the movie. You guys, like, people should watch this and give it a shot, and think and talk about it when you're done watching it with whoever the fuck your friend, or maybe by yourself. Just talk about it with yourself. I would say
True. Even if you don't like this movie, you will be thinking about this movie.
I would hope at the very least, but let's be real. The movies the modern movies we've seen, it's so dog shit. I don't know if the discussion is warranted. But yeah. All right. There you go. There's our review of this.
And you're thinking about, like, how much of this movie changed just because Marlon Brando said, I'm Marlon Brando. You want me? I get to choose what happens at the end.
I would hope he'd be like, make it more anti-war or some shit like that. That's my far leftist, coming out.
Oh yeah, he's. You know what he did right at the Emmys?
Oh no, I thought that was the Oscars where he had a statement.
Or no, what he did was he didn't show up and he let this Native American woman come and
that was the Oscars. Yes, that was the Oscars.
and have a speech. And they want to toss her off the stage.
He's also Superman's dad. Just in there. But all right.
Wait, what?
Dude, he plays fucking Kal-El in the Superman movies.
I didn't remember that.
He plays Superman's dad.
With what's his name? The handicapped Superman.
Fucking Christopher Reeves. Yeah.
Okay.
He plays his dad.
All right.
But Marlon Brando, he's a savage, actually. And fucking
I've never seen that one where
Vito
he's
Corleone.
Famous. I've never seen that Marlon Brando movie where he's famous for yelling Stella.
What's that?
Streetcar Named Desire.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, to be honest.
That's a famous Marlon Brando. I don't know if
thing.
It could have been a play, but Marlon Brando did it. Streetcar Named Desire. I think it's older than the rest of his stuff. I think it might have been his first thing.
I don't know personally, but
I'll look it up. I don't know.
I'll look it up, but first
I don't know if it's worth us watching at all.
I don't know, but first I'm ending this fucking video first. So there's our review of Apocalypse Now. Yeah.